when you start claiming what you want in life, you have to be ready to act when it's time to act. And I'm going to give a little example, a little life update. So if you have been subscribed and you've been following along my most recent examples, you would know that I'm here in France. I'm solo traveling Europe, and I'm looking for a van because part of what my soul calling has been is to do van life for a long time. And I'm finally allowing myself to explore that, and also, to explore solo traveling and to make YouTube videos and to do all these things that I was denying my soul for so long because I made stories that was like, oh, I'll do it when, I'll do it when. And so often we do that, and the unconscious in us tells us that we can't have the things that we want, right? And so I chose this van, right? I wanted to have this van life, and I'm here in the countryside because a van was here in France, and then a family friend offered for me to get it, and then I got here, or to stay here. She offered for me to stay in her house, and then I got here, and the van that I wanted and had been talking to for months was no longer available. I was like, okay, I'm being redirected to something else. And through my whole experience, I've shared about it, I won't go over all of it, I found one that I really, really like. But I messaged her yesterday and I hadn't heard back. And I'm doing the practice of what we have to do when we choose what we want. We have to let go of resistance. Sorry if that plane is loud. And we have to allow it to come to us. And if we're like, oh no, I need it, then we put it on a pedestal and it's outside of us and it's better than us and it's no longer in the same timeline as us. And so I let it go. I was like, whatever, like maybe, if it's not this one, then I'm just gonna buy a car and I'm just gonna maybe travel around by car and get places to stay or whatever. I just let it go, whatever is meant to be. And so this morning I woke up, and the other part of this message is that you don't need to do anything. If it resonates, then maybe allow this to adjust how you are being. But it's a big one for me because this morning I woke up and my phone's always on airplane mode when I sleep because I like to wake up and do my morning routine. But we so often become so rigid with the things that we think are good for us that we make it our identity and we make it something that we can't let go of, right? We wake up, phone's on airplane mode, absolutely not turning it on until I finish my meditation and connecting with my angels and guides, and I do breath work, and then I do a little bit of yoga, and then I go outside and I go on a walk and all these things, right? And we can become so attached, which we should never be attached. We become so attached to these things that we think are good to the point where maybe they're no longer serving us, but maybe they are. But the point of this example is this morning I woke up and I was like, I'm meant to turn my phone on while laying in bed. I know it breaks the rules that I've set up for myself, but there's a reason why I gotta check my phone. And so I turned it on, and my brother had messaged me there's $4 rental cars, $4 per day rental cars in Barcelona. And I was like, oh, interesting. And I kind of was going back into my morning routine, but then it kept ringing in my head. And I was like, I need to go search this further. And because I was saying, I've been feeling a little trapped here in the countryside because I don't have a rental car here anymore. The van that I wanted didn't work out. There's no public transport here. I'm freaking out here. And it's beautiful, but it's a weird feeling to just kind of be super isolated without transport. And so I was like, I am getting the feeling that I have to act. This is what my soul brought me to. My soul was communicating with my brother's soul and allowed that to come into manifestation where he came across these rental car prices. And so I was like, yes. I went on, I found the car, it's automatic, great. If you know, you know. I don't want to do manual. I know it's a big European thing. And so I book it. And then, there's the road bumps, but I'm like, no, this is meant to happen because I can feel it. I know that it's meant to happen, and I'm ready to act. And so there's no taxis to come out here and get me and drive me in the morning to the train station. So then I was like, all right, let me look up a place to stay. And the part of this is also find the resourcefulness in you. If you know it's for you, there's always a way. I literally texted every single taxi in this area, in this county, and every single one said no, they couldn't give me a ride in the morning because it was too early. And I was like, okay, well then there's something else. Like sometimes that's a sign that it's not meant to be, but I'm like, no, I'm feeling that it is, and I'm feeling that I'm gonna act on this. And so then I found a place that's by the train station tonight, and I rented it for the night. And so I was like, can you drive me to the train station tonight? And he was like, yes. Yeah. And so it all worked out, right? With the feeling that it's meant to be, and the acknowledgement that it's time to act, and the willingness to change the rigidity of my day-to-day, so that I can allow in new. What's trying to come through might not be able to come through because you're so focused on trying to do the right thing that you're not actually seeing the aligned thing with what your soul wants. And so you got to stay open and be listening, right? I love my morning routine. I love my meditation. I'm going to continue. But I think that, especially like with my health journey, going through chronic illness and healing from Lyme disease and mold illness, I had to learn throughout that experience that like at some point, some things are not serving you anymore, and it's time to redirect, right? And make space for something new. And so this happened. I like finally figured it all out, figured out all the trains, the places I'm staying, the car, all that. And then the van that I want messaged me, and she's like, hey, someone's coming next Tuesday. Can you come before? And I'm like, yes, I can, because I have a rental car and it's like a few hours away from you. And so I was like, wow, had I not planned all of this and like figured out a taxi to come freaking save me from this remote, beautiful place. I'm so grateful to have this place to stay right now. But this remote place, maybe I wouldn't have been able to, get there before the other buyer. So it all was divine timing because I was willing to listen, right? And to act when it's time to act, even though like it's not, the normal thing that I try to follow every single day. And so in that, it's like, wow, okay. And then my brother was like, I'll be in I wanted to take the rental car to Portugal, or the van if I buy it. And then my brother messages me. He's like, I just bought a ticket to go to Portugal and we have an extra room for the time that we're there. Like, do you want to come stay with us? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, wow, like alignment. When you do the thing that you're being called to do, rather than trying to do the right thing that you think you're meant to do, you get out of your head and you follow the inner calling. You merge the two, the mind and the soul, and you choose from that place, no matter how much it doesn't make sense to the mind. Then you get to move closer and closer to alignment and get the things that you actually want that have been calling you for years, right? I don't know if I'm going to get this van. I let go of attachment, but it's something that I've been drawn to for so long, and now it feels like it could potentially be happening because the van is perfect. It has every single thing that I want. I've been through this journey the past few months, but really mostly the past few weeks, like significantly as I've been ready to really buy, of like, no, do not settle. Do not settle for anything that is not exactly what you want, right? I want automatic. I want it to have a shower. I want it to have low miles. I want it to be a certain price. I don't want it to be a crazy color. And so when I saw the van, I was like, oh shit, like it's everything that I want, right? And I almost settled on other ones that are like ugly and purple and like not the thing that I want in manual. But when you redirect and you say, I choose exactly what I want, and you're willing to act and you're willing to adjust and you're willing to follow the voice that doesn't make sense always to your head, like you can get to the places that you're trying to get to from a soul aligned place. It's like, oh, I'm so charged up. And the other thing, I was telling one of my good friends back in California this, because I've always been an overcast girl. Like I love overcast weather. I adore it. I feel so cozy with it. I've always loved it since I was a kid. And she was not, we were living together in California. She was not about it. And so like I'd be loving the rainy days and she would be like, oh, when is this over? And I never thought that would change in me. I literally thought I was just like some starseed. A lot of you guys are asking if I'm a starseed. It's hard to say, but yeah, I don't think that I've spent any other lives on Earth. I think that this is my first time around. I think I'm a wanderer and here to help with the shift of the new consciousness, as many of us are. And so now I was about to talk about it, but it's kind of going away. But I have been really missing the sun since being here. I've really been missing the sun because it's old in this part of France, this countryside of France. All the buildings are really old. I'm a new kind of girl, right? I always kind of feel like because I am not originally from here on Earth, like the things on Earth, like the history, and even just like as a kid, I used to think humans were so strange and like babies and older people. I just thought they were strange to me and unfamiliar. And so like I've never really been into history that much. I've always been into like new technology, new efficient things, sustainability, like all these like new things. So with that, I got here and I was like, I've been in shock because it's old, and the sun has been gone. And so I've just been like, wow, I think that this place would be a little less creepy. No offense to anybody who lives here, and like I understand some people really like adore this ancient vibe, but like to me it's a little creepy, especially staying by yourself in like a old house. So grateful for it. Again, just my opinion of the experience. And I was like, I really just want the sun to come out. I was messaging her. So after I completed all this stuff and I set up the ride, I packed my bags, I packed up everything, I got all ready to go. I'm getting ready for the taxi that's going to be here very soon. The sun came out, and it was meant to be overcast like for every single day on the weather app. And so the sun came out today right after I had solidified everything and the person had messaged me. I saw the message, I looked outside, and the sun started coming out, and I was like, wow, what a trip. What a trip. How everything starts to come into alignment, the things that you want. I put it out there last night. I was like, I want the sun. And when you come more and more into alignment, the things that you want come to you quicker, right? With ease. And you just release the doubt of how things are going to happen. You release attachment and control of how things are going to happen. You act on the things that feel right and feel in alignment. You take every single encounter and conversation as a potential sign, as some kind of way that the universe is trying to communicate to you. I love when people comment on here, they're like, that's not a spiritual experience. That's not a spiritual experience. I'm like, I'm a spiritual being having a human experience. Everything's spiritual because I'm a soul. It's like, that's my perspective at least. And so I'm excited. I'm really excited to get to Barcelona, see what's out there, have a car, potentially have a van, go to Portugal with like-minded individuals. Doing what you don't want and like experiencing it shows you what you do want, right? The contrast shows you what you do want. And this experience, the past 3 months of being in Italy and Switzerland and now here in France, a lot of the places that I've stayed, majority of them have been very beautiful but very remote and isolated. And so that has allowed me to get really clear on what I want and spend a lot of time in my own being and recalibrating and choosing from a place of alignment. But I've decided and known from this experience how much I really value and need to have like-minded people around me. And I just want to engage now, to be like exalted in my, is that the right word? Expressed in my being with other people, and to have things to respond to in conversation with other people. And so I was like, I got to get to Portugal. And so there's been all these signs of people now talking about Portugal. I'd never really heard about Portugal, like anything about it, when I was in California. Now it's like right in my face. And so when my brother was like, oh, I'll be there, you want to come stay with me? I'm like, hell yeah. So things will just get easier and more aligned, and you'll be able to choose, and it will come to you quicker if you just follow that calling no matter what, and you are ready to act when the time comes. If I had waited and I had done my morning routine, I wouldn't have been able to set up the car for tomorrow, the train for tomorrow, the taxi to come today. Like it would have been too late to coordinate all of this stuff. So just be ready to act when you feel the need to act, and be willing to change the things that we might be too rigid on. So that's the message coming through loud and clear with the sun beaming in my eyes today. I hope that it resonated. Please let me know if it did. Give this a thumbs up. and subscribe if you're new here. And I'm posting daily videos on messages and the journey and everything that comes through of solo traveling, spirituality, remembering who you are, and getting what you want. So I will see you in tomorrow's video. Maybe I'll be in Barcelona. Probably will be in Barcelona when I record it, or on a train. Who knows? We'll see. All right, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.